All right, thank you for tuning into another episode. Like, subscribe. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I know this is not the content that you guys are used to, and I want to do more long form stuff. Although people have been watching my videos where I dive deep into one particular topic, the next video is still going up, so I need to update that one. I'll probably do that this weekend. So, but thank you to all the subs. Thank you to all my friends keeping me going with this. Want to record every day because eventually this face is going to be on the Tizoob, want to be on TV. So get used to talking this sports every day. So let's go ahead and break down a couple things that I saw. There's a couple things that are interesting. So let me share the screen like I always do. So Russell Westbrook, longtime agent, part ways over irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences. So that word always trips me up a little bit. You can see this headline, which player gets the most unfair criticism? I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Russell Westbrook. I don't know. The whole thing with Russell Westbrook is this. I know that people do go hard at him. There are some people in the media where they always want to see him fail. Colin Cowherd, uh, I guess Bill Simmons became anti-Russ because he was pro LeBron, pro Durant when they split up. So Russell Westbrook has to be the bad guy. And I do see this in just media in general, that there's every narrative, every conversation we have, there has to be a bad guy. There's so much like persecution when we talk about any topic. So I get how that could become a narrative around Russell Westbrook. But at the same time, Russell Westbrook is a top 75 player of all time. He's been voted that, got a supermax. He was given that, and got an MVP. He was voted that. So for us to say that like the narrative is just negativity around Russ, like I saw Andre Iguodala saying that, it's kind of insane. Andre Iguodala also said that Rasheed Wallace is better than Giannis. And before I get into that, I'll touch into that. I do think this, and this might sound crazy. Talent for talent, Rasheed Wallace might be the best power forward that's ever played in the league. And I'm not the only person that said that. Charles Barkley said that. KG has said that. I think there's nobody who could do what she could do on both ends of the court. Shoot threes, handle, elite post player, defense. But Rasheed never wanted to be a superstar. That's just not his drive. I don't think he ever averaged 20 points in his career. That just was not his thing, to shoot the ball a lot. He just wanted to be one of the guys. So when you're saying that he would be better than Giannis in this NBA, I just think that's ridiculous, because Giannis is the best player in the league, and he's someone who, his relentlessness, almost like Russell Westbrook, his relentlessness makes him a better player. That's a skill, to be relentless, to be persistent, to be tenacious. I remember when I was watching I remember the old school X-Men, and they would have like the profile of what their abilities were. And I don't want to pull it up, but Cyclops, one of his abilities were tenacity. And I looked it up, and I was like, what the fuck? This is an ability? I'm talking about like super strength and shit like that. But the more I get older, it is an ability to not give up, to keep going, to keep attacking. So that's just my thought on that. I think he's just new in this media game, and he's trying to make waves, right? So he's not really going to be a player next year. He's trying to make waves. That's what happens in media. You don't want to just be talking and saying the same thing as everybody. I mean, I don't say the same thing as everybody, but that's just always been me. You ask my friends from college, they'll let you know that. So I just see things differently. So I wouldn't have to do all that and say crazy shit like Iguodala is, but I get the grind. So him and his statement cited irreconcilable differences. And he says, this is what he said. Where was it at? Every time. My best belief now that with the possibility of a fourth trade in 4 years, the marketplace is telling the Lakers they must add additional value with Russell in any trade scenario. And even then, such a trade may require Russ to immediately move on from the team via buyout. My belief is this type of transaction only diminishes Russell's value, and his best option is to stay with the Lakers, embrace the starting role, and support Darvin Ham publicly. Unfortunately, irreconcilable differences exist as the best pathway forward, and we are no longer working together. I wish Russell and his family the very best. He's basically saying that Russ wants to trade, he wants to leave. Now, I don't know what the truth is. I can see how Russ might want to trade because it seemed like all the Laker fans want him traded, including me. And not because I think Russ is a bad player. He just doesn't fit what the Lakers need. They've tried it, it didn't work, you know. And once again, like the persecution, um, I see like persecution as so much in our conversation, you know. And once again, he was voted MVP, right, by the media, right? Voted a top 75 player of all time by the media, and he was given a supermax contract by his team. So to say that he's been persecuted, like I see this conversation, that persecution, like, oh, Russ, he gets so much disrespect. He's gotten the ultimate respect that you can get from the media. They named him MVP. So because a couple of people are saying negative things about him or he's having a bad time right now, doesn't mean like people hate him. So um I think that he needs to be traded. I disagree with this statement. I actually think the best thing for him is to be traded. This does not work. Um, just the season before, he was on Washington, had a great season to end the season. There's a certain style of basketball that you have to play with Russell Westbrook to get the most out of him. That doesn't mean that he's a bad player. Deshaun Jackson, for example, is a deep threat. Now, if you run in, um, you know, deep in cuts with him, and I mean, even deep in cuts could probably work in slants because he's like, so maybe that's not the best. What's a just a one trick pony in sports? Okay, so like it's like saying, okay, we're gonna post up Reggie Miller every play. Like that's not the best use of his talent, right? His best use of his talent is that he's a great shooter, one of the greatest shooters of all time, top 10. My bad, our dog is the truth. He's not up there with the Ray Allens and them. You know what I'm saying? Let's just, keep it stable like a table. But it wouldn't be the best use of his skill to have him in the post. He should be running off screens, shooting threes, right? Russell Westbrook, the ball is not going to be in his hands. The ball is going to be in LeBron's hands. He doesn't cut. He doesn't catch and shoot threes well. That's just not his game. He needs spacing. LeBron's going to be on the court, who's become a good three-point shooter now. Anthony Davis is going to be on the court. He shot 20% from three. So it just doesn't make sense. They tried it. It didn't work. It's nobody's fault. It just didn't work. So I think they should move on. Will they do it? I don't know. The Lakers are being weird and they, don't want to trade assets and don't want to trade first round picks. And my whole thing with that is I can understand a sentiment in which you'll say, hey, I don't want to trade any picks. We have to look at the future. But my thing is when you have a comet going through your orbit, you have to do the best you can with that, right? So the Lakers can look at it like this, right? I'm having a Lakers conversation, but let's just talk about it just a little bit. Lakers can look at it like this, right? Hey, we're the Lakers. We always get superstar players. LeBron is just going to be one of those superstars that come through our orbit. It doesn't matter, right? That's what you could say, right? So we're not going to sell the future away because we have LeBron, because we always get players like LeBron. They've had Shaq, they've had Kobe, they had Kareem, they've had Magic, they've had Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. They've all been Lakers, right? James Worthy, Magic. I don't know if I mentioned Magic, right? So that's one way you can look at it. The other way that you can look at it is, hey, after your title in 2010, you went to the playoffs twice, excuse me. The year after, where you got swept in the second round, and then the year that Kobe tore his Achilles, you lost in the first round. One playoff appearance in almost a decade, right? There was a point where stars were refusing to even meet. They wouldn't even meet with the Lakers, right? LaMarcus Aldridge, horrible meetings with the Lakers. People were making fun of the Lakers packages and trade proposals, and even the thought of taking a free agency meeting. So you can say, hey, we're the Lakers, but you weren't the Lakers even when Kobe was there, right? So I as a Lakers fan, I don't know. I'm a little concerned because I have not seen good management, and just because you have a brand doesn't mean that entitles you to be good in this league. You need to be managed well. All right. My allergies have been going crazy lately. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Like I said, I love pro football talk, and it's football season, man. You can just feel it in the air.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I didn't ask you anything.
I don't understand. I ask you anything, but I could search the web for it.
All right. These old school Macs, well, it's not old school, like one generation down, they have this like little bar in front of it, which people hated. But I actually liked it, but I always accidentally hit the Siri button. So here, Mac Jones, disciplined diet, workouts have led to significant strides in the offseason. Hey, listen, getting in shape is better for everybody. So I don't know, maybe this makes him a better quarterback, but at the same time, does getting in shape help your arm strength? Does getting in shape gonna help his uh is going to help his accuracy? Is it going to help him? I mean, I think they have a lot of issues going on. They haven't named the offensive coordinator, lost Josh McDaniels. If I talk, I'm about to drop the Jags season preview. And one thing that I like for the Jags and for Lawrence in general is that they got an offensive head coach. So when you have an offensive head coach, you don't lose your offensive coordinator because your head coach is your coordinator, right? If you're a good team, like say the Bills were, Greg Roman's out of there, right? Because he's in demand, right? Because that's how it works. If you're a good team, they poach the coordinators, right? So if they keep poaching the coordinators because you're a good team, you're constantly having to change offensive systems, right? Constantly have a new guy that you're working with, right? But when your head coach is the offensive coordinator, you don't have to worry about that, right? So for a young quarterback, that really means a lot. So that's why I was kind of surprised that the Bears went with Eberflus instead of getting a young guy, offensive guy to work with Justin Fields. That kind of puts him behind the eight ball. And I like that the Jags went with Peterson. And then, the Patriots losing Josh McDaniels, him finally biting at an opportunity. Remember, he was supposed to go to the Colts and he didn't do it and went to the Raiders, which is another conversation for a completely a whole nother day about the business ethics on that one. But yeah, so I don't know, Patriots fans, I have a question for Patriots fans, and I'm gonna drop it in next season preview that I'm gonna drop this weekend. But I have a very, very important question I want to ask everyone. But hey, getting in shape is good. I need to get my ass in shape. I need to be more disciplined. So just as a human being, and he says it, I made significant strides, fixing my body, feeling comfortable, feeling healthy and better. And at the end of the day, You're still a human. You want to eat what you want to, but you have to be disciplined. That's a message that I can take on, and I'm trying to take on. I got this little wedding I got to go to, and drinks, and Nigerians all we eat is carbs and rice, but we're about to. I got to get more disciplined myself. So, congrats on getting in shape. I don't know what that has to do with you playing quarterback in particular, but Tom Brady got in shape. So, but he changed his body, and he said that's made him a better player. So, I don't know, but I think the bigger concerns is their receiving core is pedestrian. Don't have a offensive play caller. And he seems like he's a pedestrian player at the quarterback position. Is him getting in shape going to change that? I don't know. We'll see. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for rocking with me. It's the game is the game. More content. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Keep this thing going. All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Call everybody up.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Man, do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is the game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, The game is a game. Always.
All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Call everybody up.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Man, do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is the game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, The game is a game. Always.